Hello, hello, hello. I am back after an unannounced break. Let's see. I went camping for a few weeks, and then for the few weeks before that, I actually started making clothing for my vacation because, for those of you who don't know, I actually like to sew my own clothing, and I wanted a couple of new outfits for when I was off doing my thing. Let's see. And then I got the coof, man, or COVID or whatever you want to call it. And I thought I would, as I'm coming back here, let you guys know what COVID was like for me as an unvaccinated person who knows what strain this is. I don't know. I've heard some things called like Ninja COVID or Omicron. I don't know. I don't even know which one we're on, but I was just going to share my experience because why not? Oh, and also, while I was camping for a few weeks, I let my phone totally die and did not look at anything because I love to do that. Like, I'm really old school. I've said this before, I'm Gen X. I didn't have like video game systems, or we didn't have a lot of money, so I didn't have like the latest video game systems or really any for a long time. Didn't have cable for a long time. I had outside. That was a thing, and I love outside. I still do. I had like looking at clouds. And so, yeah, at least once a year, I got to just like let everything go. But I have been trying like mad now to make up for all of the things that I didn't see and all the articles I didn't read. That's the only bad part about letting your phone die and just saying, forget about everything. And man, was I surprised when I finally got my phone back on and I found out that the FBI raided Melania Trump's underwear drawer. Like, mercy me. So, let's see what COVID-19 was like for me as an unvaccinated person. I guess the first day. I was basically just I just give you a quick overview. I was basically almost asymptomatic, and then I felt bad for a little bit, and then I was back, and then it was like over again. It was the strangest cold I ever had. So the first day, I felt like a little tiny spot in my throat, and I was just like, oh. I've been on vacation. I've been yelling and partying and screaming. I must just be losing my voice. Other people I knew, they were losing their voice, because we were just having a good time. Whatever, no big deal. Didn't think anything of it. The next day, there was like that little spot had grown a bit. And so, like, maybe this much of my throat now was sore, but it was also like a little itchy. So then I thought, okay, like this could just be allergies. I'm allergic to bluegrass. It just it just is what it is. I guess, yeah, just allergies. No big deal. I went to use the bathroom and I leaned forward and just like a drop of like, I hate to say it, but mucus fell out of my nose. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay, definitely allergies. No big deal. So this is day 2. The night of day 2, like I woke up in the middle of the night and I was stuffy. And I was like, oh, well, maybe it's more than allergies. So I took some vitamin C and I took some vitamin D because like I like to have like supplements and stuff around. Like I'm just like a bit of a health nut. So I took that. And then when I woke up in the morning of day 3, like I felt fine. Actually, the longer the day went on, the better I felt. That little bit of like itchy like throat thing was like going away and I was feeling great. But then I was noticing some of the people that I'm camping with, they weren't feeling so hot. And they said they were feeling awful. And I was like, okay, well, I feel great. I feel fine. I was actually packing up some of my camping stuff and I was going to take a trip home and then come back out and then just use my rooftop tent to camp in instead of my big camping layout. But then my husband said to me, oh, well, you should test, just to make sure you don't have COVID. And I'm like, why? I'm not sick. Like I was a little stuffy for a few minutes and then I felt fine. But I was like, fine, whatever, whatever. I'll take a test. And I took a test and it said positive, and I'm like, what? Like, how did this even happen? This is crazy. Um, but then, and I don't know if this is what made me feel bad, but then I started to panic because what I didn't have was my, like I didn't have the horsey medicine, or whatever, like I didn't, there's because I went to, I guess it's probably myfreedoctor.com. I went over there and, you can get a doctor and they'll prescribe you all this stuff, all the stuff that you're not allowed to talk about here on this platform. So I had a whole thing of stuff that I was like a whole big list of stuff that I was supposed to take if I ever got this. And then I started panicking because like I didn't have it with me. And even though I was like packing up my camp stuff, I don't know, I couldn't calm down. And yeah, I just freaked out, and like my heart was racing from about like 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. Yeah, I know. I need to learn to calm down, but I can't. And at that point, I was just like, look, I gotta go. I gotta go now. Like I can't, like I'm completely freaked out. Like I can't tell how I feel anymore because so much adrenaline is coursing through my body. And I'm just having like a meltdown. All I want to do is like take my meds, And so I went home, and when I went home, I took my temperature and I couldn't believe it. I was at like 102, and I'm like, what? Like once again, because like it's so weird because nothing else is really going on, like my nose isn't running, I'm not stuffy. Yeah, it was such a weird experience. So I went home, I took my meds, got in bed. I felt crappy for maybe like 12 hours. I took my first dose of the medicine you're not supposed to take, and then you take it every 12 hours. But yeah, by the time like I took my second dose, like I was fine. My temperature was back to normal, and everything was fine again. Like I didn't, like my nose wasn't even running anymore. It was like nothing happened. I've never had a cold where, like once my fever broke. So basically I felt bad for a few hours, and then boom, it was back to normal. It was like nothing happened at all. Such a weird cold. If I were to have the flu, like I'd be sick for a few days. Like I'd have a fever for like days, and I'd be, trying to get it to come up and, or to go down, and then it come back up again. So yeah, like seriously, for me, it was no big deal. No big deal at all. And I know, I guess you could say, I'm one of the luckier ones, or maybe I'm just getting like one of these late strains and that just aren't really that potent. I don't know. But it was not that serious. It definitely wasn't serious enough for people to like threaten my job over, because I refuse to take the poke. But hey, I'm also, and this is something else I'm going to talk about later, but I'm also not worried about sudden adult death syndrome. So I'm good on that end for sure. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe that, I'll never forget all of the people who would say things like, oh, well, if you're unvaccinated, then, if you need to go to the hospital, like, you shouldn't be admitted. No one should treat you. Of course, that was the Democrats saying that, but that's also the same exact stuff that they said to Black people during the Jim Crow South too. Sorry, Black people, you can't be in the hospital because, like you guys need to die in the street. Democrats love telling people whatever is their new Black, whatever the new Black group is for them, which is the Republicans now. They love, it's like just like the same playbook. It's so ridiculous. Of course, I don't mean all of them. I'm just talking about the extreme leftists. But man, when people talk about how, the party switched sides, I'm like, how? You guys are still saying the same exact things and trying to do the same exact things. It's just that you pointed your ire at a different group. Let's see. Oh, I'm going to say hi to Silky Smooth. Hello to GTO Mama. You had the original, allegedly, No symptoms except you developed a bronchial cleft cyst from a respiratory infection. Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that uh, wasn't that much or that big of a deal for you. Mike Mull says, "Oh, good to see you, Fireball." Hey, thank you, Mike. Kyle H. Multiple extended family members of yours are experiencing heart issues and other issues because they. Yeah, yeah. You know what's weird is like I know people who took the poke and they got the same strain as me, and they are having like or probably the same strain, you know, because it's not like we're testing, but even with this milder one, I know some vax people who are having like long haulers syndrome off of even this weaker stuff. And you know what? I try to talk to people and I try to share the information that I have. And I'm like, hey, you know, even if you've already taken the poke, you could still take, you know, like a 3CL protease inhibitor. Let's see if I get dinged for saying 3CL protease inhibitor instead of well, yeah, that's the same thing as the horsey paste. We'll just call it horsey paste or whatever. So, and of course, I'm not advocating for people just to like take something. Of course, you know, you should go to a doctor. You know, have something prescribed. You know, make sure it's something you're not allergic to. Of course, go that route. But I'm just, yeah, I'm not, you know, giving medical advice. Or my medical advice is to go talk to your doctor and see what your doctor says. And I'm sharing which doctors I used, which are the ones from my free doctor. GTO Mama says, yeah, long haulers is code for, yep, for injured. Oh, yeah, I don't know if I should immediately delete this stream. And I'm still trying to talk in code a bit here, but I'm probably still somehow violating some sort of law or, you know, I'll be like right back in YouTube jail after I got out of it again. Oh, hey, St. Clinton. Long time no see or videos. Yep. Yeah, I was on vacation. I've missed you. Everyone that I know who have the poke seem to have gotten through it quickly, whereas those who hadn't ended up either in the hospital or more. Well, you know what? This is why I like talking to people. I think we have all had different experiences. I would say that I have had the opposite experience as you. The only person that I know that didn't make it was poked, and then everybody else was fine. And that, yeah, the person I know that didn't make it is also the only one that I knew that I personally know. Like I know of people, but the only person that I personally know of that even went to the hospital. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you lost people. Oh, Tripwire says, how do you get rid of the messages? Probably you can't, because it's my title. I put the title in, so there's no way to get rid of it. Yeah, GTO Mama says truth equals violation. So I really have to figure out what I'm doing here. I know I've been trying for years to figure out what I'm doing on this channel, but I'm really thinking, especially since I took like that nice break that I needed for my brain and my sanity, that maybe I should just try streaming on Rumble instead. Because or maybe just focusing on Rumble, because I can't cover the stories that I want to here. I can't talk the way that I want to here. Like I'm a very plain spoken person. Like I feel that is one of my strong suits. And if I say what I want to say about things, you know, oh, everything's taken down and it's this and that. And I don't like this self-censoring. Like I need to be able to say things like, you know, I disagree with see, now I'm about to say something that's going to make this stream even worse. See, I can't even like, and this is the problem. I'm saying here, I'm sitting here, like I'm thinking things in my head, that are kind of funny and jokes. And it's like, no, you can't say that. You can't say that. I can't be myself. It's like my wings are clipped here, and I need to fly free. Your girl is like free. Like I got to just be me, but I can't do that here. Mike Mole says, "Do we know anyone injured?" Oh, I do. I've talked about that multiple times. Multiple times. A friend of mine who's only 20 was just like he almost died, and he's still like now a shadow of his former self. He lost, let's say, about 80 pounds. He has some sort of weird intestinal thing now where he has a hard time keeping food in his system. Like he, for months and months and months, he was just vomiting or, having, I guess diarrhea after eating. Tripwire says you should not have to self censor yourself. Newspeak. Yeah. Ingsock. So yeah, but you do to be on YouTube. And this video will probably get me in trouble, even though I think technically I didn't violate any of the rules. But who knows, because everything is run through computers and the computer just might not like me. So, yeah, I would like to come back with some sort of regular schedule here. I'm still trying to catch up with the news. I have so much reading to do because, if you're going to do this type of thing, you can't have gaps in what you do and don't know. You can't say, oh, like, well, like for this, like 3 weeks, I just missed all the news stories. So can we just act like that didn't happen? I have like hours of video to watch and tons of articles to read. Because I always feel like I have to know everything, even though there's no way to know everything. I have to know as much as I possibly can. Mama says, yes. Many injured in many different ways. Sudden cancer, sudden arthritis, stomach issue. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard, and I have lost a lot of people this year, just a lot of heart attacks and strokes, and most of them sudden, very unexpected, just boom, just people. Yeah. And sudden onset cancers as well. But people are just dropping like flies. They just have, it's just the people that I know that are dropping like flies. They've been older. I haven't known one of those, like those 20-year-olds that like have fallen out like that, from that kind of stuff. But I mean, yeah, actually this weekend I have to go to yet another memorial service. But I know that, yeah, overall, like excess deaths are through the roof. And I wonder what could be causing it. I can't say because this is YouTube. This is why I need to go over to Rumble so I can say exactly what I think is going on. Oh, Travar says, well, it's not like you have a job besides YouTubing. Yeah. My day job. Ugh. It's not the worst job. GTO, it just doesn't pay me anything. GTO Mama. I hear many taxi sirens too. Yeah. Yeah, I really want to dive more into the whole, the young athletes collapsing and get into all that stuff. And I just need to do it on Rumble. So I'm thinking maybe what I should do or could do or try to figure out how to do this would maybe be to start a live stream and cover like the light stuff on YouTube and then continue the live stream over to Rumble. But I think then I have to use Restream. And if I want to use Restream, then I have to pay for Restream to do it regularly. Because like you only get like an hour or two for free out of Restream. And I don't want to pay for Restream because I think that's like $50 a month. And it's $50 a month. And I don't really, I mean, of course, thank you for everybody who's ever donated. But I think it's been months since I make donations and, I'm not making anything. I mean, maybe I'll make $100 every 6 or 7 months through ad revenue, but like so much of my stuff gets demonetized. So, you know, it's about one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm cheap too. But I think the only way for me to do that and be able to like live stream is just to bite the bullet and pay for something that I don't want to pay for because I'm cheap. But I will figure it out. I'll still probably keep on doing shorts over here because if you're wondering what was up with all those little short videos I was doing, it's because like it's the only way to like have your channel grow, I guess. Now you just have to put out a bunch of shorts, even though I don't even particularly so much like doing the shorts. Yeah, it's just GTO Mama says YouTube will soon be used only as a link to other platforms. Oh, Tripwire says not cheap, frugal. Nah, I'm cheap. I'm cheap. There's no shame in my game. I can call a spade a spade. So yeah, I have no problem with that. Okay, so I guess I will wrap this up here. I will be back sooner than later. I plan on coming back with another video this week on YouTube. I don't know if it'll be short or live, but I will be back this week again. Glad to talk to all you guys. It's so weird when you don't, well, at least for me, if I don't upload for a while, I start getting like freaked out. And it's like, oh no, can I still even talk? I guess I can still talk. This wasn't so bad. So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yeah, I'm still alive. I mean, much to the chagrin of people who don't like people who didn't take the vax. So yeah, and maybe I'll delete this video or maybe I won't. We'll figure it out later. All right. Love you guys.